Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. This episode is called Is Drug Money Keeping Our Economy Afloat? Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, follow, and comment on the show, as well as ask you to check out a company called HollywoodIsCalling.com. It allows you to purchase live calls with more than 100 celebrities. You can purchase a live 15-second call for $19.95 and a live 30-second call for $29.95. You can purchase calls for yourself or for people you care about on special occasions, birthdays, holidays. Whatever the mood, whatever the occasion, give it a try. HollywoodIsCalling.com. It's a lot of fun. Now let's get started. On today's episode, we're going to answer some questions from the viewers. The first question is from Daniel, and he writes, is white-collar crime really more lucrative than ordinary street crime? Yes, it is, by several orders of magnitude. The thing you have to remember is that only a small percentage of white-collar criminals ever get caught. Even when the police realize that a hacker or a computer thief has stolen information or money, it is still very difficult to track them down and capture them. Even more so if they reside outside of the country. With ordinary street crimes, people are being captured on video surveillance and arrested constantly. It happens every hour of every day. But with sophisticated white-collar crime, many of the times something is stolen, the victim doesn't even realize it was taken until months or years later. At that point, the criminals are either long gone or they become even more sophisticated in their ability to hide, evade detection, and perpetrate even more crimes. I've heard some theories that as much as half of the money residing in offshore banks or bank havens is there because it has been stolen, or it is drug money, or political payoff money, or just money from massive arms deals. Those are all essentially white-collar crimes. I've also heard rumors that when the last financial collapse took place in 2008, the only thing that kept the ATMs working and the banks open was the massive infusion of dirty drug money into the economic system. Apparently, the people in power had to turn a willful blind eye to it and just allow trillions of dollars of drug money and illegal proceeds from crimes to flood into the financial system so there would be enough cash to keep things going. That should give you some sense for how big a part of our economy the money from white-collar crime plays in keeping the banks and the country running when things get tough. The next question is from Steve. Steve says, I just lost my business. After 20 years, I've filed for bankruptcy. What can I do to start making money again? I'm 57 years old and I have a family to feed. Well, Steve, first I recommend that you find and accept a job of any sort. Don't just look for jobs in your profession or with your expertise. Take the shotgun approach to your job search and start looking for any kind of work that you can do. Next, you need to see if you or anyone else in your family qualify for any public or federal assistance. If you get those applications filed ASAP, then keep working. Next, you have to cut expenses to the bone. Stop all discretionary spending. Start selling off any and all assets that you don't need anymore so that you can raise some money. You're going to need to build up some reserves so that you'll be able to put food on the table for as long as you can until you find another job. The next thing you should consider doing is renting out the rooms in your house to Airbnb, as well as registering yourself and your family members to work with Uber and Lyft so that all of you can make money for the family and contribute any way you can. Next, I want you to email and physically call every relative and friend you have and tell them that you're out of work, and if they see or know of any valuable jobs, to please call you. I also want you to connect with local churches and relief organizations and begin asking them for financial assistance. Register with several of them because not all of them may be able to help you. They are all under tremendous financial stress now, so register with as many as you possibly can. Lastly, I want you and your entire family to consider exercising together. I believe that the family that exercises together stays together. It will raise all of your spirits and you will spend more quality time together. So keep that in mind. Next, Sam writes, when I was a kid, we used to go to the library all the time. Do you think it still makes sense to take the kids to the library occasionally, just as a family excursion? Probably not. I think encouraging kids to read physical books and electronic books is always a great idea. But I also believe that most of the world's information has been moved online where it is readily and conveniently available to everybody. If you were to go to the library today, it might take you 10 minutes to look for and find the book you were searching for. If you spend 10 minutes online, you'd be able to visit many websites and process much more information in electronic form. And that's how you stay competitive. Not by, wandering around some smelly old library, hoping you'll find the book you're looking for, but to process and access as much current information as possible. That's what makes you competitive. Now, if you still want to get a physical copy of a book, you can always order it online and have it shipped directly to your house. Next question is from Anne. And Anne writes, people always used to say that learning a second language is really important. They would always recommend Chinese or Spanish for the kids. Do you think that still makes sense? No. I speak 3 languages, but if you ask me today what language I would recommend that children study, I would say math. Math should become the second language of every child in the United States. Not everybody is going to grow up to become a math expert, but I firmly believe that the more math you learn, the better off you will be. If you reach a point in your math studies where you feel you've plateaued and can't understand more advanced math, no matter how much harder you try, then I would strongly encourage you to use some of the free math tutorials online to learn more difficult math. Khan Academy is a great resource. So are the countless math tutorials on YouTube, and they're all free. Keep at it. Whether you're 12 or 70, I think you should keep studying math in order to keep sharpening your mind. Math will also provide you with more employment options, so you must also look at it that way as well. Next, Cindy writes, is there a quick way to get a divorce? Yes. There are some jurisdictions and states that allow you to get a faster divorce than others. I think if you spend a few minutes on Google, you'll find a list of those states and jurisdictions which offer the fastest and least expensive divorce options at this time. If you do decide to go to one of them to pursue a divorce, make sure you call ahead to confirm that they're still open during these difficult times. Talk to a live person and go over the details and specifics before you fly across the country to get a quick divorce. Next, Bill writes, it seems like we live in very tough times. I feel overwhelmed. Well, Bill, here's what I want you to remember. Americans have endured civil wars, world wars, terrorist attacks, financial calamities, and many other catastrophes and hurricanes, and we will no doubt endure more in the future. The people that survive and thrive are those that are able to force themselves to demonstrate mental, physical, and social strength by working hard and by adapting to whatever challenge comes their way. Most importantly, they have to support their families and stick together because that is where the real strength comes from. Surround yourself with strong people who have a positive and healthy outlook, and in doing so, you will improve your own psychological strength and ability. Next, Williams writes, I've been cheating on my diet lately and eating junk. How can I avoid eating that junk over and over and over? Well, here's what I would do if I were you. I want you to think of a goal or an achievement that you want or need. Now, every time you eat something healthy that's good for you, I want you to feel like you're advancing towards that goal. And every time you eat something that's bad for you, I want you to feel like you're distancing yourself from that goal. The key to the pursuit of goals is to keep visualizing your distance from them. Keep track of how far you are or how close you are to achieving them, and then use that visual to keep advancing and moving towards your goal. What's important is that you maintain that visual tracking because you need to reinforce yourself with positive mental images, and it helps you get closer and closer to your goal. That's the key. Use your positive eating habits and positive behavior to keep visually getting close to your goal. If you can do it visually, then you can make that happen in the real world as well. Next, Mike writes, my daughter wants to be a professional poker player. What do you think I should do? Well, most gamblers end up broke because no matter how much they win, they always want to keep gambling until they lose. The only way to really make progress in gambling is to take 75% of your winnings each month and put them in a long-term investment that will pay you an annuity, but that you cannot withdraw from for a fixed length of time, maybe 5 or 10 years. That way, no matter how long your losing streak lasts, you'll still have money coming to you each month from your annuity or investment that will be able to support you, but you won't be able to make withdrawals from the principal no matter how badly your gambling addicted brain wants you to gamble it away. Eventually, if your losing streak is long enough, you'll run out of discretionary money to gamble, but you'll always have food money and rent money coming in from your annuity. And that's the kind of cold splash of reality that most gambling addicts need. And make no mistake, most professional gamblers are addicted to gambling. Remember, no matter how much money you've made or lost gambling in the past, all that matters is what you have to show for it going forward. If you can put your house, car, and your savings into an annuity or in a safe trust or an investment of some sort, where no matter what you say or do as a gambler, those assets will be safe from your crazy gambling urges going forward. Then you'll have something to show for all your gambling success. If you don't want to put up a financial firewall of some sort between yourself and your assets and gambling proceeds, then it's only a matter of time before you lose it all and end up with nothing. So with that, I want to say thank you very much, and we will talk to you soon.